The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a movie that accomplishes exactly what it sets out to do, and nothing more. For a film that markets itself as a bunch of annoying millennials dying, yep, it sure is that. The movie tries to bring back what made the original film so terrifying without the baggage of having to carry all the sequels that have nearly identical names. The film starts with our cast of meat piles that will be chainsaw fodder driving around towards an abandoned ghost town where they meet an old lady who then dies. It's revealed her son is Leatherface, and he doesn't like his mom dying, so he goes around and chainsaw massacres that Texas pretty good. The movie is surprisingly short at only 1 hour 15 minutes, including credits, but it gets into the action super fast and never lets up. The film's pace goes as fast as the rotations of Leatherface's chainsaw, and while it's a good thing that it's not trying to be super plot-driven, because that's not the point of the movie and it knows what it's trying to be. Now, we are going to be getting into spoiler territory, so be careful. The bus scene that was hyped up in the trailer was incredibly brutal and almost uncomfortably and excessively so. That's the word I'd describe to use this movie. Excessive. Overkill. The kills were fun, but over the course of the film they just got more insane and more brutal and weirdly unnecessary? It's a weird word to say, considering that's the entire point of the movie, but the original films left a lot up to the imagination, which was often a lot more vile than would have actually happened had it been shown on screen. But this film leaves nothing to the imagination and shows every single explicit blood droplet and flying organ, which I think makes the film worse because of it. Each time someone was about to be killed, I was shocked and on the edge of my seat, but then after the kill is drawn out to the man is but a meat pile on the ground, I sort of roll my eyes at how hard it is trying to be shocking and upsetting. The worst part of the shocking and upsetting for purposes of being shocking and upsetting is the school shooting flashbacks that serve no purpose but character development for the main character who honestly didn't need any. And even if they did, the way they handle it comes across as lazy and distasteful. The ending is also a massive middle finger to the audience, which seems to serve no purpose other than to piss people off. But, you know, it did it successfully. It made me pretty annoyed when I saw it for the first time, but the more I think about it, the more I realize that's exactly what it's trying to do. But there is one thing that I think the film did decently at, and that's the old lady revenge subplot. I forget her name because nobody in this film is important, but she's the original final girl from the 1970-something movie. This is established in the opening scene, which I think this film shines at its camera shots and atmosphere. Okay, so I guess the film is good at three things, because god damn, this movie is beautiful to look at, but I digress. The lady wants to kill Leatherface for revenge, which I mean, fair enough, I would too, to be honest. So she goes and decides to kill him and stuff, but he initially doesn't reciprocate. A lot of people hate this scene, but I think it's pretty good. She clearly doesn't want to just kill him. She demands acknowledgement and recognition for what she did and what she had to go through. She doesn't care about having Leatherface dead. She cares about feeling validated for killing him. And that's why she doesn't just kill him right away. She's waiting for him to even acknowledge her presence and tell her that she remembers him, but he never does. He just gets up and walks away. That's the biggest screw you he could have done. He just leaves her there. And yeah, there's a lot of flaws of this scene, but it's another one of the subtle details throughout the movie that makes Leatherface more than just the average slasher movie villain. He's a layered character, as layered a character as a silent murder machine can be, and many people say her inclusion is dumb and too much like the lady from Halloween, but I think that is entirely the point. It's supposed to make you think it's stupid. You're supposed to think the character is an idiot. It's a parody of the character from Halloween that it's poking fun at her. I mean, hell, he literally chucks her into a garbage bag pile. At least that's my interpretation of it. Ultimately, the movie to an extent succeeds at being a hyper-violent teen slasher movie that harkens back to the films of the 70s and 80s with a modern millennial twist, but doesn't do too much to make itself unique or interesting in that regard. Ultimately, despite how balls-to-the-walls crazy it can be at points, it is ultimately just another slasher movie. I give this film a 4 out of 10.